Welcome to another edition of Realities May Vary, still free for now. There's a teaser. Back from wherever he was, doing whatever he was doing, full of stories and vim and vigor. It's Cody Gough. I'm Brian Noonan. Good to see you. Last week you were missed. Roger came and told his stories about Disney and his book and all of that. It is good to have you back. How have you been?
Good. Great. Fantastic.
Wow. Your tone belies your adjectives. You built it up like it was great, and then you sounded like you were in a malaise.
It was really great. My son is having a very fragile emotional evening, and I was told not to start the show by yelling too much.
Okay.
As he falls back asleep into a hopefully restful slumber. I have to kind of keep an ear out for him.
Should we do an AMSR version of the program?
Yeah, ASMR. I'm doing great, Brian. I had a really fantastic.
Oh, isn't that gross? Why is your son having? It seems like his life would be pretty cushy. He somebody else wipes his butt. Somebody else feeds him. He doesn't have to go to work. He just plays and lays around and runs around the yard and tries to get into things he shouldn't get into.
I know, he's almost a year old. He should know better. It's just, I think his schedule is kind of thrown off because last Wednesday he stayed with the grandparents, and then Thursday he went over to the nanny's house all day. Is that even right? Maybe Wednesday they did that, and Thursday, Friday he went to the
an au pair that you send your child away to. That's
I didn't even know grandparents, then the nannies, and then I had a house full of people Saturday when he was here, and then my wife was gone teaching yoga downtown Sunday while the boys were watching him, and then Monday comes back around, the nanny's back. It's just the schedule's thrown off, and he still has his bedtime and his normal wake up time, but his naps have been a little touch and go, mostly mostly whichever the bad one is. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, what does matter is
he's having a rough time.
Yeah, I think his sleep's just a little off. He's just not really not sure when to nap. It gets all fussy, and then he's upset when we try. He's not a good napper right now, but we'll get past it.
Maybe he's going through a growth spurt. Because he's already like 6'3", right?
Yeah, he's already going through. He's never stopped going through a growth spurt. Pretty much, it's just been a persistent growth spurt for the last year.
Maybe he's mad because his growth spurt stopped.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He's not getting much taller, I want to say, but he is. Every day he's reaching something else to pull down and just break. It's fine.
I can't wait for the day where he just walks in and tells you to shut up while we're doing this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some sleep, Dad, but I'm in a fragile state.
Well, if we had done the show last week, I wouldn't have had a voice because the voice.
Let's get right into this because this is you. I've seen people excited before. I saw your happiness at your wedding. The tweets that followed the event that you are about to tell us about rivaled all of that. I was scared for you and excited for you at the same time. I was scared that you were completely going off the deep end. Hello to everybody who's commenting. And I was happy for you that you were having such a joyous experience, but I was like, the rest of his life can't live up to this.
No, I peaked. It's over.
So last time we were together, you were talking about this new wrestling league that was coming to Chicago to do a live taping as one of their first big events. So take it from there.
Yeah, All Elite Wrestling, AEW. They've been a league for like 2 years now, I think. I want to say a little more than that, maybe. And it airs Wednesday nights. Wednesday Night Dynamite goes up against one of WWE's developmental shows. And a few weeks ago, they have 2 hours every Wednesday, right? That's a couple hours of wrestling a week from their league. Versus WWE, which has 3 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Friday, and then 7-hour pay-per-views. So WWE's just got like 100 hours a month or whatever you can watch. AEW, a couple hours a week. They added a Friday show, 1 hour Friday show, very short, 9 p.m. Central, I believe. So yeah, it must be because I was there. So it debuted, I believe, a few weeks ago, let's say. And just before they debuted it, they announced the second ever Friday Night Rampage will be at the United Center, which was a bit of a head scratcher because United Center is a very large arena.
Huge.
Very hard to sell out, right? Even WWE usually sticks to Rosemont because it's easier to get in and out of, and it's a little bit lower capacity. But
well, this was going to be a Rampage, though. I don't know if you're paying attention to the title.
That's true. It was going to be a Rampage. It's the second ever live Rampage, and it was heavily hinted that CM Punk, probably the number one wrestler in the world, right? And I guess I don't know.
Give it a little back. All right, so people may have heard that name, but if they're not wrestling fans, is he from Chicago? I know he lives in Chicago.
He's from Chicago.
All right, he's from Chicago, so he's a big deal here. He was a big deal in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I almost said WWF, but that would show that I'm 100. So he was a big deal, and then why he and Vince had a falling out? Is that what happened? He quit wrestling.
Huge deal. He was pretty unhappy with the company, and WWE does not have a good reputation for taking good care of its employees. That's because they don't have employees. They're all independent contractors. They work their wrestlers. They overwork their wrestlers. They make their wrestlers work hurt. They make them work through injuries. They book them for shows when they know they have a surgery scheduled, things like that.
They do shows when one of their wrestlers is killed.
They do that. A year ago, they announced that any wrestler wrestling for them, if they had a Twitch channel or any social media accounts, WWE took them over. So the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Big E Langston, and Xavier Woods, they are three dudes that have a huge Twitch channel where they do video game stuff. It's called Up, Up, Down, Down, I think. Huge video game channel. Yeah, WWE just owns it now because they're working for WWE, even though they're independent contractors. So they also don't let athletes do like sponsorship or endorsement deals. There was a podcast after CM Punk left that like he was offered these like 2 or 3 huge endorsements, and Vince was like, "No, you're not allowed to do these." So, but then he like gave them to Triple H or something like a month later. He's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll give them to this guy." So, they're horrible to their employees, right? And I know that they're making a lot of money, but you can be making a lot of money and happy with what you're doing, and still be in kind of an abusive relationship because,
sure.
Like, where do you go from WWE until AEW? There was nothing, right? There was no competitor.
Yeah, because it's not the days of TNT and
right.
What was the one what was Turner's the WCW?
WCW.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in one of Punk's a couple of years before Punk just kind of like left, he dropped this promo where he kind of called out Vince and kind of like called out the company. And it's been referred to as the pipe bomb promo, and it like changed wrestling, right? Like it shone a spotlight on a lot of the problems. He was kind of the voice of the voiceless, and he was this guy that was like causing a ruckus, being like, "I'm a top guy, I'm extremely popular, and I'm gonna call WWE out for its crap." So he did that, and then a couple years later, he was booked for WrestleMania, and they were going to put him in a match against like Triple H or something. And he's like, "I don't need this in my career. I'm leaving." And they were going to have him like fight when he was hurt and just all this crap. And he's just like, "I'm done with this." He was the top guy in the company. He was what's important to realize is his merchandise was the top seller in the company, outselling John Cena's merchandise.
Really?
So he was
shorts and everything?
All of it. Yeah.
All right.
He was an insane moneymaker. Like he was the guy, but they weren't booking him like the guy. They were putting him up in these crappy matches, and they weren't giving him sponsorship deals or commercials. Like they're just every opportunity they weren't giving him. And they were telling him, you got to work 4 days a week and wrestle and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, they're breaking him. So he just got burned out and he left. And then Dana White offered him a UFC deal. He said, "Hey, wrestle a couple fights in UFC." Punk is like, "Well, that seems like a bit of a jump. Maybe I should do some lower level fighting stuff, but whatever. Yeah. You're going to give me like $1 million. So, okay." So he did a couple fights. He lost one. The other was a draw, I think. Didn't do really great, but no one ever knew if he'd come back to wrestling again because he was so soured on it when he left WWE. It was just like, whatever. And people would start WWE arenas ever since then, for 7 years. If the audience was mad at something WWE did, like if there was a bad ending to a match or a really just slow, bad match, or they didn't like the booking or they didn't like the guy's promo, audiences would chant CM Punk.
Oh.
And it kind of like was code for like F you WWE. Like, we hate you. We're gonna chant CM Punk. Like, we want CM Punk. And it was like a code almost. So
wow.
He's been the proverbial F you. And anyway, no one ever knew if he'd come back. He was so down on wrestling. Well, they dropped all these hints. It was all but guaranteed he'd be at the United Center. So they get to AEW Rampage with my buddy Brad and my wife. And
now, did your wife want to go, or did you drag your wife?
She wanted to go because she knew that if this happened, like if he showed up, that the energy would be something you could never like really realistically expect to experience again in your life.
Okay.
And they've got about 2 hours of dark matches before the show, so untelevised matches that you watch. So we got there like we got there like must have been like 6:30 or 7. We got there. We get in, check out the merchandise table. There's already matches going on. We watch a bunch of matches. It's great. It's, fun. It's entertaining. And then they're like, all right, we're doing the countdown. 10 seconds to go on live on, TNT or whatever. I mean, the second they go live, well, first of all, people were chanting CM Punk for hours before this, right? Like there was a guy on the bus. So we took the blue line in, or the Metra, and we took the bus from the Metra to the United Center. And on the bus, a guy started chanting CM Punk. I mean, it was electric. So they go live on TNT. They shoot off the fireworks and everything, and everybody's chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. You've got the entire arena is just like bloodthirsty for CM Punk. And it's only a 1 hour show. You got to remember,
right?
You hear this like kind of crackling noise, and his entrance music is Cult of Personality, which WWE doesn't get to own the rights to because it's not their song. It's Living Color.
Right. Yeah.
And Cult of Personality starts, and the play, like if you watch the replay on YouTube, watch CM Punk return, you couldn't hear the music. Like imagine being at the United Center and they're blasting this music for this entrance, and you literally couldn't hear it over the crowd, and you can't hear it in the YouTube video either. It is completely drowned out. I don't think the United Center has exploded like that since Michael Jordan was playing. There's no way. I mean, he came out, there was this huge pop, and then he walked out, and it was just surreal. Like, just see, like, his music hit, and I'm already like, my brain is just like short circuiting. I'm like, wait, this is really happening. This is surreal. Like, am I about to see CM Punk come back? Yeah. And I was here, and he walks out, and so my wife posted an Instagram video. You can hear me screaming and completely losing my voice. And I just completely lost my voice. I mean, everyone is screaming CM Punk. People are crying in the stands. It was insane. And he just sat at the top of the entrance ramp for like a full minute and just soaked it in. Then he got up, he comes down, he's high-fiving people. He dives into the front row of the crowd, and a bunch of people like hug him and stuff. And then he gets up and he gets on the turnbuckle, and people are just losing their mind. And then the announcer says, we're taking a 90-second commercial break. Just hang on, everybody. Just wait 90 more seconds, for Punk or whatever. And he's just in the ring, just standing there, just taking it in, and everybody's freaking out. And he cuts this promo, and he's like, hey, I'm here in AEW. And why am I back? It's so I can fight all these younger guys. There's a lot of great young talent there. And he cuts this promo, and he's putting over the talent. He's talking about how great they are. And he calls out this guy he's going to fight at the pay-per-view this Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the end of his promo, he's like, he pulls what Michael Jordan said when he came back. He said, I'm back. Which is what Punk said.
Yep.
But then he said, he's like, oh, and by the way, this is one more important thing. After that pipe bomb promo in WWE, Brian, you would remember this. I wouldn't. In the 80s, they had WWF ice cream bars.
Yes. People still talk about them. They used to be on ice cream trucks. And they were and they were also at the store, and they were very, very hard to come by.
Okay, yeah. So
they would sell out immediately.
Right. So Punk had a promo with Vince McMahon a few weeks after his big pipe bomb promo, because he started to sell $1 zillion of merchandise. So Vince McMahon is like, well, okay, I'll keep this guy around for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And he cut this promo, and he's like, the storyline was, I'm going to leave WWE. I'm going to beat John Cena for the title and leave with the championship. And you have to, cave into my demands otherwise. And he said, where are WWF ice cream bars? I want my WWE ice cream bars. And the crowd pops and they're going nuts or whatever. And for the next year, people are bringing signs to events like, where are my ice cream bars and stuff? You know, everybody's into these ice cream bars. Nothing happens. WWE doesn't do anything. There's no WWE ice cream bars. So this is like, it's just a whole thing. At the end of his promo on Friday, last Friday, he said, oh, and by the way, I want to thank you all for coming here at the United Center. So on your way out of the United Center tonight, you can all grab a free ice cream bar on me. And I have the wrappers.
Oh, I was going to say, you don't have that.
Casey's in my ice cream bars. It's CM Punk branded.
God.
It's
that is hilarious.
Made in Chicago. One cool treat. He's got the CM Punk best in the world.
Chocolate covered vanilla bean ice cream bar. Best in the world.
Rich custard style ice cream infused with Madagascar vanilla bean dipped in our signature chocolate shell. Apparently, this is from a small business in Chicago. I don't remember the name. You'll have to look it up. It's from a small business that hand dips ice cream bars. Ooh. And CM Punk personally paid for 15,000 ice cream bars that were hand dipped and had this label put on them. And they were handed out to every single person walking out of the United Center.
Unbelievable.
And if you're in Chicago, Google it and find where these people are, because it was the best ice cream bar I've ever had.
Really?
It was really good.
Now, was that the emotion talking?
No. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's a chocolate ice cream bar. And I ate it and I was like, oh my God, it was amazing.
I can't believe you had the presence of mind to save the wrapper.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding? Oh, there's no way.
I think that's great.
No,
I would have been so enthralled with an ice cream bar, I wouldn't have even thought of that.
There was one other thing. So CM Punk, halfway into his promo, he's like, hang on, it's getting hot in here. He takes off his hoodie, and there was a t-shirt that says, I was there, AEW, and it's got the date, and it says United Center. So it's a CM Punk t-shirt, but it's exclusive to that night. So as soon as this promo is over, we were right next to the merchandise stands. I just shoot out of there. There's 250 people in line in front of me.
Oh, geez.
There's lines going up the escalator. There were probably conservatively 800 people in line for these shirts, right? So I'm like standing there, and they've got the TVs in the United Center, and you can watch what's going on. So the card that night was the big promo, and then a tag team match, and then a women's match, and then a singles men's match.
Okay.
So I stood out there for a good 20 minutes through the entire tag team match.
Oh, God.
And the line barely moved. So I'm texting my wife and my
friend. Were they
waiting
waiting to get the shirts, or what was going on?
No, because I kept seeing people walk by with them. So maybe they were like letting people in from either direction, or I don't know what was going on. But I finally, I was texting them, and I was like, I'm going to miss the whole show if I just stand in line. And I still might not even get a shirt. So I'm going to go back to my seat. So I went back to my seat. I go on eBay that night, $300, right? Like, I mean, you're selling out. So a few days go by, and so there's the other thing.
What were they charging for that shirt?
I don't know. I'm getting, it couldn't have, I would imagine 40, but maybe more. I don't know. But here's the thing. So that day, as soon as Punk walked out, ProWrestlingTees.com is this big pro wrestling t-shirt site. They provide all of AEW's merchandise. That site crashed for 24 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you couldn't get the site. Within 48 hours, the CM Punk t-shirt was the #1 selling shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees of all time. In 2 days.
Good Lord.
This is how popular this guy is. It's so much that his shirt is what's called a ringer shirt. It's a white t-shirt. You've seen me wear these before. It's a white t-shirt with the black edge of the sleeve and a black collar.
Yeah, like a ringer t-shirt.
Yeah, a ringer t-shirt. Exactly. Pro Wrestling Tees ran out of ringer t-shirts, and they are now selling CM Punk t-shirts in plain white because they don't have any more ringer t-shirts for any design to print.
Oh my God.
I actually nabbed a ringer t-shirt like a couple days after the event. I just got lucky, went online, went to the website. It all worked. It was great. But then a few days later, a person on Twitter named Renee with like 40 followers and like a fake icon was direct messaged me and said, "Hey, I saw your tweets. I was at the United Center. I got an extra I was there shirt for my friend, but it's too small for him, even though it's an extra large.
Well,
Would you be willing
extra
to
large
buy
would
it?"
be
Well, yeah, I was like, "Okay." I
could be a
mean,
big dude.
there's he could be a big dude. I was like, but I mean, it just does make it slightly less likely that that's true, right?
Yes, right. Because you'd know what size your friend wears.
You would think also. So I'm like, well, I don't know this person, so I'll throw out a no. I was like, I'll give you like $100 for it. Like that, it's a lot, but
Yeah.
it's lower than the market value right now, and I really want one. So what the heck? And he's like, all right. Anyway, long story short, he this person who I've never met, I had no proof of anything. I just gave him my work phone number, and I'm just like, call me, text me, whatever. Like we can work it out. He's like, here's my Cash App, like name or whatever. So I sent him $100 and it came in the mail.
Are you kidding me?
It's just, I somehow didn't get scammed. Yeah. And like, before, save your comments. Like, I'm not giving you every single minor detail. Like there was a lot of back and forth between us. There's a lot of logistical, discussion, but it was kind of a trust fall. It was a mutual trust fall. This person's like, oh, I'm just gonna, and the guy said, you don't have to send me the money until after I send you the tracking number. So I saw his receipt from the post office with, my suburb and the tracking number. And I looked at it and it said shipped and all that. And he had pictures of the packaging next to the thing. So I was like, this is either a very elaborate scheme or I'm going to get it. So we'll just do the trust fall. And I sent it and got the thing. So in fact, I have the message and then I got the shirt. I haven't done that.
That's very nice.
Well,
I'm surprised you're not wearing it nonstop.
I don't know if I'm going to wear it because it's such a item, right? Like I could get a poster frame and I could stick it in there with these 2 ice cream bar wrappers.
Do you have your ticket stub?
It's Ticketmaster, but I could probably print it.
I was going to say, you could do a whole thing.
Yeah. So.
Wow. All right. Well, Marta says it's pretty cool ice cream. She sent a link to an article. It's Chicago's own Pretty Cool Ice Cream. They confirmed that Punk did, in fact, pay for all 16,000 ice cream bars. They revealed that he first approached them, like you said, Cody, about 2 years ago with the idea. And since we've been getting a lot of questions, yes, the ice cream was on him. It wasn't a publicity stunt dreamed up by promoters. So CM Punk, the real deal.
Yeah.
Legit. Wow. Well, that's got to be right up there with other major events in your life. Now, let me ask you this. Let's put this in perspective. We know that when your child was being born, you had to go get coffee. At any point during the rampage, did you feel the need to go get coffee?
I didn't, but do you know what I drank on the Metro on the way in?
No. I hope it was Boone's Farm 2020 in a brown paper bag.
Coffee flavored PBR.
Oh, my God. Oh, sweet baby Jesus on a stick.
Have you had it?
What? No. I haven't had a PBR in. I may never have had a PBR, actually. And that's not a slam against Pabst Blue Ribbon because I drank all kinds of beers. I'm sure I had one in the past, a PBR. But I'm not really into these coffee flavored beers anymore. I don't, there's something about them. I love coffee. I love beer. It's not a Reese's peanut butter cup beverage kind of thing for me where I blend the two. So all right, first of all, what do you do with drinking on the train? I love it, but it's kind of, do they allow drinking on the train now?
On the Metro? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't go on public transportation.
You never did the Metro?
I eschew public transportation.
Okay. So it sounds gross. Here's the thing.
It sounds really gross.
So
all right, where do you come upon this? But real quick, guess who was drinking Natter Day last week?
Was it you?
It was Molly.
Did she enjoy it?
I said, you're lying. She said, no, I forget. She was somewhere in Milwaukee and she had it. And I said, oh my God, that's what Cody loves, Natter Day.
I do love Natter Day. I'm actually just looking up a thing so that I get the name right. Yeah, I did. So here's the story of that.
How does this happen?
Well, there's a liquor store right next to the train station on the way out of my suburbs. So we all grabbed a drink. And in the cooler right next to the front counter, there were a bunch of coffee flavored PBRs, which I've heard about, and I'd heard they're not bad. So it's like, okay. And it was rubber banded to a little, 2 ounce or whatever, a little mini liquor bottle of Screwball with a K, peanut butter whiskey. It's got a little sheep on the front. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. But that sounds like a shot. I'd do a shot of that.
It's I was like visiting a friend like 2 months ago, and I didn't know what to bring, and I just grabbed this Screwball. I didn't really have much of it, but we've been making cocktails with it with like bourbon barrel aged maple syrup and peanut butter whiskey.
Ooh.
So a little breakfast cocktail. It's good. And so I just grabbed it, and I was like, well, I've got my wife and my friend here. We can split it. Like I don't have to pound a whole PBR coffee. And also it's interesting that this little liquor bottle is attached, and it was like $2. So like, I was like, there's no risk here. It'll be fun.
$2 for the beer and the shot?
And the shot, yeah.
All right.
It was crazy cheap. So I was like, all right. So I said, I was like, is this good? And they're like, it's really good. And like, you pour it into a thing and put that shot in there and stir it up. It tastes delicious.
Oh, they want you to put it all together.
They do, yeah. And I did. Well, I had a few sips of the coffee flavored beer, and it was like actually decent. And then I dumped in the whiskey, and both my friend and my wife were both like, it was actually surprisingly decent. It was a little sweet for Casey's taste, but I was into it. So yeah.
So you pound 6 of those on the way down to the UC.
Pounded one. Pounded one plus another beer. And then we paid $18 for every drink after that once we got to the UC.
Oh. Yeah, that's where they get you. But you didn't care because CM Punk showed up.
I didn't care.
Tom, very excited by your story. He says he's crackling. Just listen to you describe it, and he's not even a wrestling fan.
It was. I mean, the energy was insane.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine the feeling of being there. Not only are you enjoying it as a fan, but then in your mind, you're also going, "I'm here for this. This is a big deal."
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't even wrestle that night. He just cut a promo.
Yeah, he didn't have.
He gave you ice cream,
dude. It was. He used to do this thing where he would sit down cross-legged in the middle of the ring when he did a promo.
Yeah.
And halfway into his promo on Friday, he goes, "Can I tell you a story?" And everybody loses their mind. And he's like, "Can I tell you a story?" And everybody freaks out. And then he just sits down. And when he sat down, the place exploded. It was just everything he did. Yeah, I've got goosebumps all over thinking about it. Watch it on YouTube. CM Punk. You just watch CM Punk return. It's already got 9 million views or something. And then you can watch the first promo he did on Dynamite. But I mean, like I said, like you couldn't hear anything. Like I was like, is his music even still playing? You couldn't even tell in there. It was nuts.
Sally, no, Sally's saying that it's fake. It's scripted entertainment. It's what is it? Sports entertainment. Is that is that trademarked?
I think only WWE says sports entertainment. I think AEW, they're like, we're wrestlers. And that was a big thing too. Like for a while, WWE wouldn't let people say wrestler. So in one of Punk's like later promos, he says, "I'm the best wrestler in the world," which like everyone knew was against the rules. So they knew he'd get in trouble for it, but he just did it anyway. So
nice.
Yeah, no. Look, the energy from the 15-ish thousand people.
Real.
There was nothing fake about that entire evening, that whole experience. So it was awesome.
So how much are you going to pay for the pay-per-view? Because I know you're going to be watching that match. I'll
pay you can. So by the way, the pay-per-view is Sunday from the Allstate Arena or Now Arena. It's in Chicago again. The pay-per-view on Sunday. Tickets. The average ticket price after Punk came back was $900. The average. They started at $350, but the average price was $900. So I will be paying $50 and enjoying that from the comfort of my own home. But they went up to like $2,000 or $3,000.
Holy criminally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And AEW Rampage was #1 in the ratings for all like males up to age 35 on Friday night, like in any time slot on Friday. So this guy,
he moves the needle, as the radio kids used to say.
Yeah, he moves the needle.
He moves the needle. Very nice. Well, I was hoping to have my needle moved on Saturday, and that's not a euphemism. because I had tickets to Kiss. So I was going to go see the hottest band in the world. I wanted the best. I got the best. They got COVID.
Did they?
I did not bury the lead. Yeah. So last week, the guy I'm going with, CB, one of the insatiable insomniacs, sends me a cryptic headline from Rolling Stone. Paul Stanley tests positive for COVID. And then he goes, I didn't read the article. That was the text. I didn't read the article. I'm like, well, that would seem like an important piece of information. So I read it. Well, last week, Paul Stanley, who has been vaccinated and is 70, I think, tested positive. Now, the whole crew, they said the crew, the band, everybody have been vaccinated. Everybody's following protocols. They're doing what they're supposed to. So he has a breakthrough case. He texted that the symptoms were very, very slight. He bikes 26 miles a day, so his heart is in good shape. He'll be fine. Everything will be great. So I'm following along. And last week they postponed like 4 shows because this is the end of the road tour again. I added the again. But I'm guessing this end of the road tour, what are we, 2021 now? I'm guessing 2025.
Wait, Brian, I heard on the radio that this is their last tour ever. I heard that on the radio.
Well, you did hear that. I'm not disputing that fact that you heard it on the radio, but they didn't say how long this tour would go. They could be on the last tour. I think I actually saw their farewell tour back in 2000. So there's a good chance that this tour is going to be going. So they didn't cancel any of the shows. They postponed them. So I've been watching because there's something else I'm supposed to do on Saturday. A little get together I'm supposed to attend. And I'm watching the KISS website, which very nice website. I would have expected nothing less from Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. Yeah, so I'm on their website, looking at all the things, looking at the prices of concert T-shirts and marveling how I will never have a concert T-shirt because I think just the plain KISS End of the Road tour shirt is $50. And I know that for that, that's the average price of a concert T-shirt, but to me, it's still a T-shirt. I got a KISS shirt to go to the concert at Walmart for $8. It's a KISS World Tour 1977 replica shirt. Looks fantastic. $8. That's what a T-shirt should cost. I'll go $25 for a concert shirt. All right, you're not going to give me Walmart prices at $8. $25, you're still going to make your money.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. I wasn't going to go to this show, but here's where my cheapness comes in again. So KISS is coming, end of the road tour, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, that'd be fun to see the final tour because I'm a sucker after having fallen for these farewell tours before, which I'm woefully against. But then I thought, I'm not spending a ton of money to go see KISS. I've seen them before a couple times. They're fine. I get it. They're 70-year-old men wearing impossibly high shoes and caked on makeup. And yes, I want to rock and roll all night and party every day while I'm in Detroit Rock City. And I want to think of my 8th grade girlfriend while the fake Peter Criss sings Beth. But I don't need to do this. One selling point, though, at the time was that David Lee Roth was opening for them. And I thought, this will be hilarious. Because I saw David Lee Roth when he was with Van Halen back in the day. And he was like the front man. Now he's a cartoon character. He's a lunatic. So I'm sitting here in the office one day doing whatever I do in the office. And I get an email from Debbie, who's all the way downstairs. So, of course, she's going to email me. And she's forwarding me an email from Ticketmaster saying, hey, we've got $20 tickets to all these shows. And I'm like, what? And all it says in her email was, you should go see KISS now. And I look up and lawn tickets, which when I go to the, I don't know what it's called now. Used to be called the World Music Theater. I think it's the First Midwest Bank Amphitheater, whatever it is out in Tinley Park.
In Tinley Park, I think it's whatever. Yeah.
It was the Tweeter Center for a minute. It was everything. It was the New World. It was the New World. It was all sorts of things. Whatever the amphitheater is in Tinley Park. I love to sit on the grass. I sit on the hill, $20. I'm a happy man. I bring my little chair, sit down there. I'm good to go. I drink whatever bootleg whiskey I have out in the car and a tailgate like I'm 14 again, and then I head in. So I buy 2 tickets to see Kiss. And I sent you, and I texted you right away. Hey, man, I think I texted you before I bought the tickets. I was like, hey, man, you want to go see Kiss? Well, you have something to do that day. And so then I just buy 2 tickets because I'm like, somebody's going to go see Kiss with me. So after I buy the tickets, I text CB. I go, hey, I got 2 tickets. You going? Yes. Took him like 38 seconds to respond. So we're all jazzed up. Now, today, I'm downstairs ironing a shirt. That's a detail that really isn't pertinent to the story, but I like to do theater of the mind. So I want you to picture what I'm doing. I'm in the basement. I've got some Sirius XM on the app. I'm listening to the Bennington show. Now you have the picture. I'm down there. I'm ironing a shirt. And I see a text pop up. And again, wow, you turned your mic off.
Pounding a coffee-flavored PBR.
Are you? Do you have another one?
No, where you were while you were ironing the shirt.
No, I had no beers. I did not have a beer. I see a text come up, and it's a Rolling Stone headline again. I'm like, oh, this is bad. Gene Simmons tests positive for COVID.
He's in Kiss, right?
He's the demon. He's the god of thunder. Come on.
I thought that was Thor.
No, that's
Zeus?
from Norse mythology.
Zeus?
I'm talking about the world of rock and roll. The rock and roll universe. He is the god of thunder.
Could one say that he was thunderstruck?
Only if one wanted to be sued by AC/DC.
Yeah, that's AC/DC.
Yeah, so. That's AC/DC. Good try.
Which I knew when I made that joke, by the way.
I know you did. Oh, I know you did.
You know.
Marta says, I heard the Kiss last tour is with the Judds, Barbara. Oh, stop it. Stop it, Marta. Don't do that. Anyway, so before I now he doesn't give me any background on this headline. He just sends me the headline. So now it's up to me to read the story again. Turns out, yes, Gene Simmons has in fact tested positive for COVID. So the band has decided to postpone their next 4 shows, and they hope to be back on the road September 9th, which is a week after I was going to see them. So now I'm stuck with, well, not stuck, because I did get an email from Ticketmaster saying, hey, the Kiss show has been postponed. Hold on to your tickets. Like I'm going to set them on fire. Just go, I've had enough. I'm so upset. So I have these tickets. I don't know when they're going to reschedule the show. I would imagine it's going to be next year. Now it's going to be like I bought Hamilton tickets, so I've got to wait over a year to see Kiss. Now they're going to be in their mid-70s. You know, I'm just, one, I'm fearful with these guys getting COVID because they're elderly. 2, if it gets too much more, 1 fall off those boots, that's a hip, that's it. Career's done. And we're losing rock legends weekly. So we've got to be very careful because Charlie Watts, rest in power, Charlie. Charlie Watts, of course, the drummer for the Rolling Stones, passed away the other day, aged 81, I think. So I don't know. So now I have no rock and roll dreams for this summer. Then I find out. So Monday, which was Monday, I come home from school and Debbie says, oh, I forgot all about yesterday. We were supposed to go see the Doobie Brothers. I'm like, what? She says, yeah, I bought them on the last day they were doing that $20 deal. I bought some Doobie Brothers tickets and I completely forgot about it. And I'm like, oh no, how do you forget that we were going to go see the Doobie Brothers? You know, China Grove, Old Blackwater. Come on, Michael McDonald. He was there. He was going to be singing in his dulcet tones. So we lost $40 on Doobie Brothers tickets.
It just wasn't on your calendar?
She claims she told me. I would have remembered. And here's the weird part. Saturday night, things were going crazy here at the house on Saturday. Saturday night, I'm looking through, I don't know, social media at some point, and I see the Doobie Brothers tour. And I'm like, oh, when are the Doobie Brothers coming? I'd like to see the Doobie Brothers. Oh, they're here tomorrow. I go, we got to deal with my car screwed up. I got to deal with the car tomorrow. We got to be up early for work on Monday. I'm not even going to mention it to Debbie. just in case she would get a wild hair and say, oh, yeah, I want to go see the Doobie Brothers. So I didn't mention that the Doobie Brothers were there on Sunday. Had I mentioned it Saturday night, she would have said, oh, yeah, we have tickets for that show. And I would have said, oh, all right, we should probably go. Or we should see if somebody else wants to go, But no. So it was not to be. I didn't see the Doobie Brothers. I'm not going to get to see Kiss. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cry in my beer.
Wow.
Sad.
Yeah. Well, that's a bummer.
It is a bummer. And it's a bummer that we're getting so old that we buy tickets to concerts that we don't even remember. Who, what? Benny Goodman. He's not playing here.
That almost happened to us once. There was a night, and it was like the second year I was dating my wife, and she was like, oh, I almost forgot. We have tickets for a show tonight. I was like, oh, we should go to that. It was some Sherlock Holmes stage production at the theater next to the Music Box, the stage theater next to the Athenaeum, maybe? I don't remember.
Okay.
Anyway, wherever that was. And not only had she forgotten that it was that night, but we got there, we sat down, and like 2 lines of dialogue into the show, they start singing. She didn't know it was a musical.
So no.
And we both love musicals, and it ended up being really good. But at first, I think this was before we started going to a lot of Broadway in Chicago together. So I don't think that she had as much exposure to musical theater of late. So it was pretty unexpected evening, but we were all pleasantly surprised.
That is hilarious,
man. Yeah, the Kiss thing. Now you're getting me nervous because I've got Summerfest tickets for 9/11, and then Guns N' Roses at Wrigley Field on September 16th.
Well, Kiss was supposed to be at Summerfest on the 5th, the day after they were in Tinley.
I'm wondering. Well, see, I'm not really worried about Summerfest being canceled because it's in Wisconsin. And I don't think that they think that COVID is real up there for the most part.
No,
right?
They don't. No, Milwaukee or Wisconsin's in Milwaukee, I think, believes it. The rest of Wisconsin, not so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I'm on the fence about.
Well, Kid Rock and some of his band came down with the COVID, and he claimed he was vaccinated.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think everybody's going to get it again.
Yeah, me too.
It's not stopping at all.
Do you want to take bets on like whether Chappelle and or GNR go on?
I don't know. Well, I don't want to jinx either one. Chappelle made it through most of the pandemic, but he was doing shows in his backyard.
Yeah.
So he stayed safe. He had vaccinations and everything right at his house. I don't know. Because you got to figure with these tours, there's so many variables. Because you have the crew and you have the band and you have everybody else that travels with them. And, you do your best, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, John sent us a picture of a poster from when, and I will share it with you, Cody. This is a poster of Kiss and Rush at Fremd High School in Chicago.
Wow.
Tickets were $4.50.
Sponsored by the Vikings Booster Club. There you go.
That's unbelievable. Somebody's auctioning that off. He said, I sold their tour shirts for this tour. I was in for the Rush sound check, but when the members of Kiss arrived in plain clothes, my former wife and I were politely asked to leave. I would like to have a photo of Rush meeting Kiss in Fremd High School's gym. There was no fire. Ironically, the floor was burned due to the tarp that was spread on the floor and people were smoking. Unbelievable.
Huh. Speaking of websites, kiss.com, not their website. Kiss.com is meet singles in your area.
No,
kissonline.com is what you want.
Kissonline.com.
That is a nice website. Yeah.
Yeah. They have some nice, some other nice shirts, but again, it's like,
it's the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
That's what it is now. Yes. The Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to be there. I wasn't there on Sunday. I'm 0 for 2.
September 18th, they were going to play at the Gorge in George Washington. That's where I saw GNR a couple of years ago when I did the RV.
Okay. I was like, what?
Yeah, the RV trip. Yeah, that's my big RV.
Okay. All right. I was like, whose Gorge are they playing in? That doesn't sound right at all. Oh, all right.
You can see them anytime in Vegas. Vegas in January. They got a residency.
Yeah, I heard they got a residency going. I don't want to see them in Vegas where they're doing like a 45-minute set. No. I wanted to see them with thousands of the great unwashed in a big COVID festival. That's the other thing. There's a part of me that's like, yeah, maybe this is good. Because not to diss Kiss fans. I'm a Kiss fan. I don't know if you know this. I have an $8 Kiss shirt that I bought at Walmart. Not bragging, but I got that kind of dough. I didn't even feel guilty about it. That's how reasonable. I didn't feel guilty about dropping $8. Bam. I didn't tell Debbie I did it. Then one day I just came down wearing the shirt and she goes, "Oh, I haven't seen that shirt before. Where'd you get it?" I go, $8 at Walmart. She goes, "Oh, that's nice." She goes, "Oh, you could wear that to the concert." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I bought it." Should we go see the Doobie Brothers? Oh no, that was 3 weeks ago. I want to take a second to, before I say, I'm going to stop before I lambast Kiss fans and they turn into moped riders on me, because I am a Kiss fan. But I have a feeling there's a lot of people who may not believe in vaccines going to that show on Saturday.
Yeah, I have the same feeling about Guns N' Roses, to be honest. Yeah.
The only thing with Kiss is there's probably a lot of fans that could be good or bad. Fans like my age who grew up with Kiss. So we've been around. Maybe we believe science a little more.
True.
But there's a lot of guys my age who don't believe science. And, and their hot tattooed girlfriends who don't believe in science either.
Yeah.
But that part doesn't bother me as much because I know there were going to be a lot of halter tops and cutoffs. So that would be fine.
Yeah.
We got to give a shout out to everybody down in the Gulf Coast. It's been a rough few days watching New Orleans and Southeast Louisiana get battered the way it has been. And I touched base with a couple friends of mine from our crew, and they're okay, thank God, but things are not good down there. And Saturday afternoon, I was playing the news stations from Louisiana, from New Orleans, and watching the coverage. And it's kind of sad when you're watching and go, "Hey, there's a hotel we stayed at 2 Mardi Gras ago," and the entire front awning just gets ripped off and flies down the street. And somebody's in the quarter going, "Yes, look at the building behind us. It's been demolished." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's the corner where we usually park if we drive into the quarter, and it's right around it." So everything we knew, and then watching the updates from Tulane, who today put everybody who was left, all the students on campus, off campus, grad students, today and tomorrow, they're putting everybody on buses and driving them to Houston, and they're going remote until the first week of October because they don't know when electricity is coming back to New Orleans. There's places that are running, they don't have water because the electricity's out to run those pumps. They put the pumps for the levees on their own supply, their own generators before the storm started. So they couldn't go out, thank goodness. But the other stuff is not good. Now I just saw a report that said they may get power back this week or next week. But initially, like earlier today, they were saying a month before they were going to get electricity back. So everybody down there, good luck. I can't believe it. Molly was down there for the last hurricane, and it didn't directly hit New Orleans. So, she didn't leave. I know if she'd been down there for this one, she would have left because they were telling everybody, listen, if you can, get out and get out soon. So it was rough. That was rough to watch, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You wonder, why do people live below sea level? That's just, and listen, I love it down there. I love it. But there's a part of me that's like, yeah, but you're a target all the time. Like even here in the Midwest, we get tornadoes, but not all the time.
Yeah.
This was their third hurricane this year. That Mother Nature's a pain in the, Mother Nature can suck it as far as I'm concerned. Not only because of this hurricane, my youngest brother's house got hit by lightning. In one of the tropical storms. He lives on Anna Maria Island on the Gulf Coast of Florida.
Huh.
And whatever the big storm was, like 3 weeks ago, it was after Noonan Fest. So it was sometime this month. There was the huge thing, and they had boarded up everything and stuff. and their house got hit by lightning. Their brand new house. Bloom. Blew out all their electricity, blew a couple holes in the drywall. Yeah. So Mother Nature can kiss my big round ass.
Yeah, I saw a Media Matters report that like 2 in every 100 TV news reports, MSNBC, Fox, CNN, all the other ones, like 2 in every 1.5 or 2 in every 100 reports on either the fires or the hurricanes are mentioning climate change as a factor.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is that both conservatives and Democrats, actually across the whole political spectrum, every American has indicated in polls and surveys that they want more context when it comes to these natural disasters and more explanation of how climate change is impacting them to better understand it. So it's not like the Fox News audience is like, well, climate change is fake. We don't want to like even they, even the people that watch that network, like every network, the viewers actually, there is a demand to know about it. And our journalists, which don't really exist anymore in the US, are failing miserably. And I don't have like all the climate data in front of me. So, and I'm not being paid as a journalist in that role right now. So I won't like fill it. But what I will say is like, all the stuff that we're seeing that is worse is like very objectively speaking, because as a direct result of man-made climate change, because of the fossil fuels that we're burning, et cetera, and all this other stuff, all this is very directly provable, with relatively actually quite simple, the science that goes into it. You can look at like 3 infographics on Twitter and fully understand like this is exactly what happens with the carbon, this is where it goes, and this is how the like moisture in the air gets pushed around and why that will end up with like worse droughts, bigger blizzards, bigger hurricanes, all that stuff. So that sucks. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is all this really sucks a lot.
Yeah.
I wish we could, at the very least, bare minimum, use it as an opportunity to like help people understand that like we should do what we can to prevent this from happening more and care. But it's not really happening. So anyway, if you're watching or listening to this, please, like, I don't know, take a little bit of maybe personal responsibility, take a couple minutes, just Google, like, what does climate change have to do with this stuff? Maybe read up on it a little bit. Then you can educate other people, and that makes my job easier because that's my job, is to educate
You're
other
a science
people.
broadcaster. I don't know if people know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all going to be that. Those are all wonderful points. That's all very passionate and all very true. And I look very much forward to the first tweet in December from somebody when it drops below zero and they tweet, "So much for global warming, huh?"
Oh man.
Like our former administration. That's the problem. No administration has really made it a priority. But it is a priority. If you're from Chicago, you know the great meteorologist Tom Skilling, who has been preaching this for years. A lot of it falling on deaf ears where people are, right. Because when I would have Tom on, it was always an honor to talk to Tom on the radio, and we would bring this up. There were always a bunch of calls or texts from people going, "No, it's not. It's all fake." Shut up. There's got to be some reason that things are changing so much, don't you think?
Speaking of idiots on Twitter, gets to some dumb thing a guy tweeted at me the other day, but hey, if you're in Chicago this weekend, here's something to do. Here's some plan to make. Music Box Theater scheduled 2 showings of the hit Academy Award, the cinematic achievement Cats.
Is it the butthole version? Because I'd go for the butthole version. No, I wouldn't. Who am I kidding? Do I want to see an animatronic cat's anus? No.
Oh man.
Or a CGI cat butthole.
If you like getting really drunk, go to the midnight showing of Cats at Music Box. I'm just saying. I was supposed to go to a Cats drink along at midnight at the Music Box in March last year, and then it got rescheduled to May, and then the pandemic kept going on, so they just canceled them all. But yeah, man,
I admire your passion for wrestling and your passion for your video games and that, but this I cannot get behind. I'm sorry. Can't change your mind. I'm not going to at you. But man, when I sat through that musical, I wanted to get neutered. I went home, I pooped in a box, I kicked stuff over it, and then I ignored everybody in my house. I hated Cats with a passion. That no plot, rambling, dumb, acid fever dream of a musical. It was, and I know, for as bad as the live theater experience of it was, that from what I've read, the film would have to be 87 times worse.
It was at least 87 times worse. Oh boy. But
so you're going to see it ironically?
No, I'm not going to go. I've got other plans.
Would you go if you went? Would it be ironically?
No, it would be to laugh, and it would. I mean, I guess yes. It's a bad movie, but it's so hilariously bad in such an overtly sexual way that it's just like I don't know. It's hard to describe, but the reason the tie-in to Twitter was that I Music Box tweeted about it and I retweeted and I said, cancel your plans to Chicago. It's some rando just like replied and was like, why just the letter Y with like 5 question marks. The movie sucked and crashed at the box office and it was a flop.
Yeah, that's why. So did Rocky Horror Picture Show, and yet it became a midnight movie staple. Yeah, who's this guy?
Random guy is just like, what? Didn't get money at the box office. Yeah. Did every movie that got money at the box office, were they all good? Is that how that works?
Easy, Leonard Maltin. Movie? It's fine. Back off. Rex Reed following you on Twitter.
It didn't really bother me. It was just like, why did you spend the time and energy doing this? You know,
it was an investor who lost a ton. Somebody who invested in a movie just cannot shake the anger. It's like, no, you son of a those cats and their computer generated buttholes. I can't. Oh man, James Corden, screw him.
With like
who's a Jellicle cat? Who's that? Is that Idris Elba?
They're all Jellicle cats.
All right, who's the big? Who's Mephistopheles?
McCavity?
I don't know.
Mr. Mistopheles was a good guy.
Okay. I didn't know there were good guys and bad guys. The whole thing was awful.
Everything about the movie was terrible.
All right. Well, so you're not going? You can't get a babysitter? You're not going to take the baby's in a fragile sleep state. Maybe he'd be awake at midnight.
No, I'm doing we're doing a little mini celebration for my son's birthday on Saturday. And then we're having a little Labor Day barbecue on Sunday. So
wow, you got social activities all over.
I do. So Sundays are our day to like actually have a weekend and not do stuff all day. So
perfect. Yeah. Perfect. I went back to school this you missed out. Well, I missed you on Friday. Went to Beer Under Glass. Bug is back.
Oh, that's right. How was it?
It was, well, here's the thing. First of all, it was great. It was nice to see. What happened to you? Where'd you go? Cody went away. He was so upset about my mocking of cats and the fact that he missed out on going to Beer Under Glass that he's gone. So we'll just hope that he comes back in a minute. If not, this is going to surprise many of you when I tell you this. But we went to Beer Under Glass, which we talked about last week, and we had some guests on. It was a big fundraiser for the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild and the Garfield Park Conservatory Alliance. So it's a big fundraiser. They had 2 sessions. The crowds were, they limited it to 1,000 people per session, which was nice. Everything was outside this year, which was the issue because it was, I think, 95 that day and humid. Cody, when I say this sentence, try to contain your shock. It was almost too hot to drink beer. It was nice to see. It was nice to see some of my our brewing friends there and talk to them and see people, and people were having fun. But good Lord, at one point I was standing talking to one of the owners of Flapjack in Berwyn, and I'm at his tent, and I was about to have a Phantasmo Vanilla Cream Ale, which is one of their great beers. And I could feel, when you're standing on the sidewalk and it's really hot and you can feel the heat coming up your calves, like your shoes are on fire. You ever had that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how hot it was.
Ugh.
I was soaked when we left. But I had a beer I had never had before that was, Debbie doesn't like stouts and stuff. She fears them. She doesn't like them. I got her to taste one because it was a Whopper. You know, Whoppers, the malted milk balls?
Yeah.
The candy. It was a Whoppers milk stout from Little Beaver Brewing in Bloomington, Illinois. And Cody, if I had made you close your eyes and gave you a sip of this, you would have thought you were drinking Nestle's chocolate milk. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right.
So that was good. And a lot of places had Oktoberfests or fest beers. So that was good. Debbie tried a couple that she really liked from different breweries, a couple sours, a couple fruit beers. And then she was all excited because she loves ciders, which I do not, but Two Fool Ciders was there. So she got a couple ciders. Yeah, it was a good time. Tried a lot of things, but this year things were getting warm really fast. So I would drink like half the sample and then,
right.
Just because when it's that hot, I can't drink, and so I'd take a couple sips and I go, okay. And I wanted to try a number of different ones. And so that was that. But overall, it was great. I don't know how the evening session went. I'm sure that one was sold out. The daytime session, the 3 to 6, was pretty much sold out, but it was nice. And you know what? I'm a sucker for, some special treatment. So we pull up in the Uber and they let us out and there's this huge line, everybody waiting to get in. And I'm like, oh, I think over here is where the media goes in. So we walked over and I was like, I asked this woman, because it was said Brewers entrance. I go, I'm picking up media pass. Oh, yeah, you come in here. Walked right in, said hello to Kristen, the publicist for the event, got our little glasses. Oh, we were in before the throngs.
I hope you gave her my regrets that I couldn't be there.
I said Cody was going to come, and then he thought, nah, this event blows.
Yeah.
So, but Debbie went. She had fun in your stead.
It's not true. I was hosting fans from out of town. That's
I know you had remote Nerd Fest.
Yeah. I just had some friends over. We played board games for 4 days. I didn't leave my house for a week. It was fine.
Nice.
It was good. It was very nerdy. Nothing exciting to report.
Just a bunch of smelly guys playing board games. Did the baby at any point try to tip over one of your dungeons?
You know what's bizarre is he really wasn't reaching up on the table trying to grab stuff. That never came into the equation.
Was there a mystic force that kept it off?
Clearly, that was my concern because it's all we were doing all week, right?
Right.
So, and yet somehow he did. Now, if there was a box on the floor with instructions, he might kind of go for that a couple times, but mostly he was just interested in running around. It was great.
Well, that's cool.
Now, yeah. Now your story about the heat reminds me of my one big concern about this weekend hosting friends a couple days.
Yes.
The biggest number one concern actually is not the heat. It is the cicadas.
Oh, do you have a million of them?
They are deafening. Like you have to yell to hear somebody that's about 10 feet away from you.
Oh.
And I'm worried that and they don't come out till later in the day, but I'm worried that 5 o'clock's going to roll around, 5:30, 6, whenever they decide to make their presence known. And it's just going to bomb the whole thing.
Well, you know what? That's a good way to get people to leave. You don't want people hanging around your house all night. I don't know what I don't know the guest list for Sunday. Maybe you want those people staying late. Maybe on Saturday you want people to leave early. I don't know what's going on in your house.
I don't know either.
It's
but
crazy.
Any advice?
No, it's nature. People know there's cicadas. What are you going to do?
Yeah, nature can suck it.
Well, not always. Mother Nature can suck it. Lately. But like I was in nature in Colorado. I didn't want that was great. I had no complaints about that nature.
Yeah, you were smoking a little nature la ganja.
No, we didn't smoke at all. Just a couple edibles. Oh, well, only one out there. Only one edible in Colorado.
No, that's fair. Your dog does not like being in your office.
My dog is having she's having some allergy issues. So we tried giving her some Benadryl, but I don't think it's strong enough. So we're going to have to, I think it's going to be time to go to the vet for the yearly allergy shot because she is not happy. She is, she's down there. She's scratching. She's licking her paws. And we gave her medicine twice today, and it doesn't seem to be helping. So I think tomorrow Debbie will make the call. And we'll see if we can get her in and get her allergy shot on Saturday. Every dog we've had has had allergy problems. Every dog. Some more. Like one dog, the allergies would get so bad, like overnight she would chew a bare spot in her backside. She'd be fine one day. The next day we'd look and we go, what happened there? And she'd have a giant spot that she had chewed. It's like, oh, geez, call the vet. And we had sprays and ointments and shots and, oh, my goodness. So every dog, they're, other than that, they're healthy as hell. But this time of year, every year, it's like, okay, we got to go get them a shot. What are you going to do?
Hilarious.
What are you going to do?
In the chat, by the way, cicadas hate Guns N' Roses. I'll keep that in mind.
Crank it up. Yeah, it's going to be like when they were trying to get, oh boy, I screwed up the reference when the CIA was blasting music at the drug guy or the Panamanian guy to get him to come out of the house. I think they used Guns N' Roses. I hate that I can't remember.
Yeah. It's not normal it's not.
I know.
You're not one for forgetting references.
Well, I'm very old now, Cody. It's use Guns N' Roses to get a dictator, Manuel Noriega. That was it. So they played Guns N' Roses to get Noriega to come out. Panamanian strongman, Manuel Noriega. Yep, Marta. Stuart got it in there too. Thank you, Stuart. It's sad when you know enough details so that other people know what story you're talking about, but you can't. Noriega was just out of, because I was thinking about. I was picturing somebody like Saddam Hussein, and I knew it wasn't Hussein, and I knew it wasn't El Chapo. So I was like, who, what? Oh, where, was it Mexico? No, it was Panama. So anyway, it was Noriega.
Last Friday on my award-winning science educational podcast I do for Discovery, we did a story about how something can be on the tip of your tongue. Like, how can it be that you remember something, but you don't remember what that thing is? And so,
yes. And
check that out. Can
you thumbnail it for me before I go listen to it?
The Cliff's Notes version kind of is that there's like 4 parts to a word. There's like the way it sounds, there's like the context of it, and there's a couple other components. And basically you remember like 2 or 3 of those components, but not the 4th one, the one that's like the actual word. So you'll remember like the meaning of something, or where or when you saw it, or where it fits in the story, or the context, but you just don't know the other stuff. So yeah.
Right. Well, I had another old man move yesterday.
What'd you do?
Because, well, I was I talked about earlier how I didn't want to pay for the exorbitant fees for the concert t-shirts.
Right.
I feel that way about a lot of things. One of them is gym shorts, which sounds like, I know that's an outdated saying, shorts that you would wear to play basketball or go to the gym or something,
athletic shorts.
Athletic shorts. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So gym shorts, so normally, and by normally, I mean, I've bought gym shorts twice in the last decade, maybe 12 years, twice. So I have 2 pairs and I've worn them all the time. The reason I bring this up is because tomorrow is, we're recording this on a Tuesday night. Tomorrow at school is Workout Wednesday. And I've gone back to subbing. So I'm going to be at school on Workout Wednesday when they allow you to wear workout clothes. So it's too hot for sweats, so I was going to wear shorts. And I was looking at my gym shorts, and I've worn them for so many years that they're kind of frayed, and they might be a little too, not revealing. They're not hot pants, but maybe they're not as loose as they need to be for school. You know what I mean? Kids don't need to see the outline. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. All
right. So I decide I'm going to go get myself one more pair of gym shorts, maybe, little something. And I wanted to find some gym shorts that were kind of a bit somewhere between the Larry Bird nut hugger basketball shorts of 1974 and the Michael Jordan clam diggers of the late 90s.
Oh my.
Just a nice kind of above the knee gym short. And I also didn't want to pay a lot of money. There's the thing. Because what do you think, in my mind, what do you think a pair of gym shorts should go for?
$15.
No,
10
$10 tops. Yeah, $10. Hopefully less. Maybe $9.97. Because I'm gonna go get them at Walmart. I know people hate Walmart. In fact, the last gym shorts I got at Target. So I spread the wealth a little bit.
Target.
Yeah, they're just whatever brand of basic gym shorts that Target had. I got them. But these have got to be 7 years old. I got them when I lost all the weight. So, and I just alternate them. Well, one day I wear one pair, the next day at the gym I wear the other pair, and then I'd wash them and just keep going. So anyway, I go into Walmart, and oh man, Cody, they have racks and racks and racks of athletic shorts, all with really long inseams and all really shiny, like crazy shiny. Like the Silver Surfer is going to be playing on your intramural team. Wow. And they're shiny silver, they're shiny black, they're shiny gray, they're camouflaged, they have huge stripes on them, they've got patterns, they've got logos all over. And I'm like, oh my God. And literally, there had to be 8 racks, double top and bottom, 4 sides, 8 racks of gym shorts. And I'm like, there has to be one rack that has some matte gym shorts, just something non-shiny. I would have even accepted a sweat material, a fleece material at this point, even though wearing sweat shorts is like John Cena wearing jean shorts. So yeah, I wouldn't have liked it, but at least it would have proved that I was not out of my mind. So I'm going through all these racks and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a man in his 50s. I cannot wear big, shiny basketball shorts. I just can't. I mean, I don't stay away from youthful things all the time. I'm not afraid to dress, but there's a point where you see an old man wearing really shiny, baggy basketball shorts, and you just think that guy's selling meth somewhere. That's just because he's too old to ball, so he's got to be slinging meth. And I knew that was going to be the problem. So I finally get to one rack, and I'm like, "Ooh, look! Here's a pair of gray ones that aren't shiny." And there's not a crazy pattern on. And then I take them off.
$40.
No. Only 12, I think $12.50.
All right.
So not bad. $12.97 because it's Walmart. So they end up giving a weird something. And across the back, like just below the waistband, there's another color, like it's outlined in kind of a fluorescent. And then there's like a yellow thing across, just like right below where my tramp stamp would be if I had a tramp stamp.
Okay.
But as I'm looking at them, the rest of them look okay, even though they're still kind of long. But they look like just gray shorts, and I figure that part will be covered by my t-shirt. So nobody's going to know that I have a cool butt color, because it's high enough above my cheek that it's, it should be covered. I came home and I'm like, all right, I got to try these on and see if they're ridiculous, if they're clown length, then I'm not going to a clam bake. I'm going to have to just either forget about Workout Wednesday or maybe try my old ones, or just forget it, not even bother with it. So I tried them on. They are a little longer than I'm used to for gym shorts. They come just below my knee. So now I don't know, do I need to get some really high socks and look like I'm hanging out on an inner city playground?
Just roll them up.
They won't roll up. They're lightweight gym shorts. They don't roll up.
Roll them up.
They're not.
No, not the bottom. Roll up the waist.
Oh, like a chick?
Yeah, just fold in the waist a couple times, and then it'll be a little bit higher, and then
then it'll cover up the crazy ass color too.
Yeah, your shirt will cover it up. Perfect. Everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody won. $12.97, so a little above my budget. But, now tomorrow I can go to Workout Wednesday. And the funny thing is, I don't participate in the workouts in the classroom. I just put on the video. I make the kids do that. What are you, crazy? I'm not doing, some 20-minute exercise video with the kids. That's insanity.
Exercise video? Are you showing them like sweating to the oldies?
Similar to that, but geared toward children. So
the youngies.
There's like one, I had to teach a gym class yesterday in kindergarten and second grade, and I played a 30-minute adventure workout. So they're running in place and they were learning about lava and volcanoes. And sometimes they had to climb, sometimes they had to squat down, and they had to jump, and they had to do all that. So they're learning and exercising. And I'm just standing there sweating because it's been very hot in school. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll do the same. Every week, the person in charge of health and fitness for the school sends out a link to a video, and they're all, every week they're different. And then the kids, the kids do it. And some of the kids do it. Some of the kids just stand there, look like mopes. Some kids complain, some kids cry, whatever.
That's school.
But it's an excuse to wear, like in the winter, it's nice because on Wednesday you can wear sweatpants and a hoodie. Comfortable. Oh, beautiful. I actually wore shorts the last 2 days at school because it was so hot. And some of the other, there's 5 male teachers. One is an ESL, English as a second language teacher. One's a music teacher. And 2 are 5th grade teachers, and one's a 4th grade teacher. Now, 2 of the teachers, 3 of them have been there a long time. And they, as soon as it gets over 75, they start wearing shorts. They don't care. They're guys in their 30s. They don't care one way or another. They're wearing shorts. And I always joke with them in the past, oh, man, I should do that. I should start wearing shorts. Like, Noonan, you got to wear shorts. I went in last week one day. I sweat the entire day. It was so hot in school. I was like, you know what? Shorts. Shorts are coming out. So I put on a pair of shorts and a nice, today I wore this with the little flamingos on it. And there we went. And I don't care. Because the ladies get to wear whatever they want. And they're, they got little sundresses on, and some of them are in shorts. And it's like, what's good for the geese or good for the gander?
Is your school air conditioned?
Allegedly.
I don't think mine was.
Mine wasn't as a kid. Oh, absolutely not. My high school wasn't either.
I don't think my high school. My elementary school, both of my first elementary school was. I don't know about my second one. I don't think my middle school was, and I'm almost positive my high school was not, except for maybe the tech wing. They built a new tech wing my senior year. They finished it. There was a lot of computer stuff there, so I would guess that was AC, had AC, but yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it was rough. So I got the workout shorts. I'll go tomorrow and try to stay cool. That's all.
You're always cool, Brian.
No, I walked in the other day. Some of the kids are freaking out because they haven't seen me in a year and a half. And I look a little different than I did a year and a half ago with my flowing locks. And so a lot of them are freaking out. Mr. Noonan, what happened to your hair? Mr. Noonan, what happened to your hair? I'm walking through the lunchroom the other day, and there's this 3rd grader, Raphael. And I'm calling him Raphael because that's his name. And he's hilarious. The kid's like oblivious. He's in his own little world. And I'm walking through and he goes, Mr. Noonan. I said, oh, hey, Raphael, how you doing? And he just looks at me for a second, looks at me up and down. And then he goes, loving the new look.
How old is he?
He's 3rd grade.
Amazing.
He's loving my new look, Cody.
Amazing.
And I was like, Raphael, I appreciate that. Thanks very much. And I'm wearing a mask. So if the kids do see me, like if I remove the mask to take a drink of coffee or something, they're like, you have one of those things on your face. What's that thing on your face? I go, a mustache? Yeah. How did you get that? Went to Walmart. That's where I go with all my
$9.97.
Take all my extra money, blow it at Walmart.
$9.97. That's awesome.
$9.97. All right. You got anything else for us?
No, I mean, big events, my son's about to turn 1, so that's exciting. It's about it.
Is he talking yet? I don't know when kids start to talk.
He's making a lot of noise. He's not talking yet. He's an early he was walking at 10 months, which they start to walk between like 9 months and like 2 years. So he was on the cutting edge of that, which is fine. What is this? Oh yeah. No, I'm looking at my calendar because I look at my calendar now to remind myself if there's anything I forgot to talk about. But
nice.
But no, I mean, I hit all the all the major hits, and
got all the big ones out. Everything's good.
Just looking forward to surviving a nice Labor Day weekend. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the entire country doesn't shut down again in the next week or so, which is 50,
everybody's
50,
panicking.
50-50.
Everybody at school is panicking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you look that there's a school district in Crown Point that had to shut down because they had so many cases. I forget where this school was. I had some school somewhere in the country had to close because 2 teachers died from COVID. Florida and Texas schools are getting shut down. We had a couple kids in quarantine.
Yeah.
That. So yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I pray that doesn't happen. Yeah. And I know people are mad that they have to wear masks now when they go back into bars and stuff. And I get that. I don't want to wear masks again. But if it really is the only way to cut down and protect yourself and other people, then okay, it's not that big a deal. We can still go places.
Yeah. At the United Center, that was the day that the
that the mandate went into effect.
The mask mandate in the city of Chicago went into effect. And I gotta say, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people pulled the mask off their faces when they're screaming and stuff, and they're kind of in there, but I never went to the concourse and saw people without their mask on.
Okay.
Very respectful crowd. I didn't see any.
Were they checking at the door or anything?
I don't know, because I always had mine on when I entered or exited the concourse. Like I said, once I got to my seat, occasionally I'd take it off or whatever, and be a totally irresponsible person. But like my buddy kept his on the entire time when he wasn't drinking. And
nice.
I think to the extent that you could have a live event with 15,000 people, the masks were very well represented, really.
Nice.
So that was cool. I didn't have to worry about, all the staff had it. And like I said, whenever I was in the beer line, everybody had it on. When I was in line for shirts, everybody had them on, and they were wearing them properly. I didn't see any, diaper faces or whatever, chin diapers. So, that was probably the biggest risky event. And if anybody's wondering like why I'm not, freaking out because I have a baby, it's because my baby was still breastfeeding, both when my wife tested positive for COVID and when she got the vaccine later. So if any antibodies,
is that supposed to be? I hadn't heard that. Is that a good thing?
There was a thought earlier in the pandemic. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but there was the thought that antibodies would pass through that process. But don't quote me on that. I haven't really followed up on it. This was months ago. We kind of looked around a little bit, and the hypothesis was that was the case. I don't even know if it's. Here's the thing with science. Science, to prove something, you need to have a massive amount of data and adjust for lots of variables.
Yeah.
And that's why this pandemic's been hard, because it's really hard to do that, right? Like there are so many variables with every person. It's like hospitals unless you're in a controlled clinical trial, you can't possibly capture every variable of information that someone's going through, right? Like who they're exposed to, what other illnesses they have, all of their pre-existing conditions, their other stuff, their age, their general health, their just all of it. Their genetics, it's all of it. It's too hard. You can't. That's why they haven't been able to just be like, oh yeah, well here's some numbers. All right, now we know everything. Like it doesn't work that way. That's not how science works. So long and the short of it is, as far as I know, he should be somewhat better protected because of the feeding situation. But I'll follow up on that, and don't quote me on it.
But, no, we won't quote you on it. You're a science broadcaster, but this was just you were hypothesizing.
Yeah, we
sharing some information.
We're both vaccinated anyway, and
yeah,
we're good. So,
well, if you want more scientific, fascinating facts in a quick and timely manner, go to curiositydaily.com and listen to Cody on the Curiosity Daily podcast. You can get a lot of information in about 15 minutes or so. Great science stuff that will enrich your lives. And so we will be back next week. Is that correct? Yes. I believe so.
I don't know. I think
unless something comes up, we'll be there. Anything else? Yeah, check your calendar.
I think we're next week. I think we're next week too. Yeah, I'm good next week.
All right. Well, good. Nothing else? Nothing else that you need to cover today?
No.
All right, good. Then we're going to wrap it up.
We can
wrap things up for tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to tell your friends. Get the podcast wherever fine podcasts are sold. Follow us there. And I say sold just, because someday we'll make some money or not. Doesn't matter.
Nah.
Whatever. All right. So have a wonderful week, Cody. Tell your young son, if he's not too fragile, that I said happy birthday. You don't have to. I know, that's a thing. We don't like to pass along messages. I'm going to try to see if I could get poor Gidget to stop scratching. She's going at herself so hard. Like sometimes she'll do it out in the hallway that it just sounds like somebody is banging, like the cops are trying to bang down our door. Ooh. That's how hard she's going. Yeah. She's going crazy. So she's not happy. So we'll do that. We'll talk to you all again next week. As always, it's been a pleasure. And, keep a good thought for everybody in the Gulf Coast. Keep a good thought for Kiss. Come on, Gene Simmons, the God of Thunder, catching the Covey. Ugh. All right. Now I've depressed myself again.
Covey.
Yeah. I'm going to get that working. I'm going to get that in.
Please don't do that.
The Covey.
I hate it.
Do you hate it more than the Fauci ouchie?
Yes.
Which I hate. I hate the Fauci ouchie. But
I hadn't heard that.
You hadn't heard it?
No, I hadn't heard it.
Oh, God, really? I've heard it too many times.
What idiot came up with that?
I don't pick an idiot. There's a million idiots, but they all, I've heard it more than once. Let's get our Fauci ouchie. I got my Fauci ouchie. First of all, Fauci didn't, it's not his shot. It's not like he created it in his basement and brought it up. And I alone have the cure. Which is not how Dr. Fauci sounds at all. But if he's going to go mad scientist, that's what it's got to be.
Why not? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So that is that. All right. So yeah. All right. I won't say Covey.
Next week I'll bring back screaming because hopefully my son will be fast asleep.
I hope. Yes, I hope the young man gets over his whatever this thing is.
That's a wonder week.
He's a baby, and he's been dealing with. You got a nerd fest at your house. Kids unsettled. Thinks there's dragons around and gnomes and people in capes. Probably thought it was some weird occult thing going on.
Or was it?
I don't know. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye, Cody.